Star Citizen Alpha 3.17.2 is now live, and it brings various new features, events to get involved with. There are ship sales going on too. We highlight the important parts of that update, and we'll tell you what you need to know about this patch and how to access those new features and gameplay areas easily. For returning players, there has been a persistent swipe, so your money event in games, Alpha UBC, ships, etc., all of that's gone. Bam! However, your reputation has been copied over and not reset. Moreover, Cloud Imperium have given all players a stipend of extra credits based on the amount of hours that you played in the previous patch for, so the amount of time you played in 3.17.1. You'll also keep all of your ships and stuff that you've bought with real money. There is another planned wipe for Alpha 3.18 later in the year. Server cap populations are up from 50 players to 100 players, though they are monitoring and scaling this as necessary. They are likely going to be running the Siege of Orison event with less than 100 players on the server due to balance and more than anything else. I'm suspecting 75. The Siege of Orison is one of the major highlights of this patch. This is the new dynamic event. How do you participate in the Siege then? It's scheduled to run on certain days, and we'll come to that in a minute, but once it's running, just take the priority mission from your Moby Glass when you're nearby Crusader, and it's always worth taking the Call to Arms mission as well for some extra credits when you're taking out Ninetales Outlaws. It is a focused PvE FPS mission. You'll want to travel to Orison and then go to the top of the Crusader showroom building. You'll be able to take a shuttle from there to the event and combat site. You'll then battle your way across 3 platforms, Selinki, Brushwood and Heartmoor, where you'll need to find and take out the Ninetales Lieutenant on each of those platforms and then search their body for a code. Now, because it's quite a large-scale mission, there's going to be lots of other people doing it at the same time. You're working together with them. You don't have to take out the Ninetales Lieutenant personally or search and find that code personally. Someone else is very likely to do it, or at least on some of the platforms. You can then also use the code that you found on that platform, or when it's been found, everyone will have access to see the code, to open one of the supply crates that are around, giving you access to some great weapons, armor, ammo, and sort of medical supplies. One of those crates will also have the AA controls for the platform, which you can then turn off. There are shuttles that you can turn on the platforms so that other people can then get to them more quickly and easily. After you've dealt with the lieutenants and those 3 platforms, you'll then need to use the ships that are at the event, so they're on tops of buildings around those platforms, to assault the admin center, and its anti-air weaponry will be up, so it's relatively dangerous. You'll probably want to do coordinated attacks or very quick drop-offs of troops. If you're going there in a very small group or solo, then just get near some other players that are getting on board, like Hercules or whatever, and then run out when they run out. Once you take the lieutenant out at the admin center there, you'll then want to assault the docked cargo barge, again at the admin center, and you want to take down the big bad evil guy Mendel Ren, and then find and turn off the IFFI. It's this friendly fire inverter and sort of no-fly area that basically means that the Ninetales have got that area locked down. Now, until that IFFI is down, ships can't be brought in from the outside of the mission area, and it's a no-fly zone. That means that if you run out of ships around the mission area and you haven't got anyone on the admin platform, it's GG. You can't complete it. So bear that in mind, and obviously don't use ships frivolously. Bring meds and help other players. It's a group event, and you can see friendly tags above friendlies' heads for the most part. There are also Crusader security around those areas too, so be careful not to shoot them. Try not to take off around platforms if the AA controls are still up, and you can always check the mission in your Moby Glass to see a whole host more information, including how many ships are left. So that new Siege of Orison event and the Jumptown dynamic events are scheduled over the next couple of weeks. They're going to be running full 24 hours on the days that they're running. This weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Siege of Orison running. So during the week, on the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th and 9th of August, you've got Jumptown running. On the 2nd, 4th, 6th and 8th, you've got the Siege of Orison running. They switch over at midnight UTC. Another couple of tips: make sure that you set your sort of medical respawn location as Orison, and bring heavy armor, although you can just loot all the gear in the world that you want while you're there. Just sort of be aware that if you're wearing like Ninetales armor that you've looted, you might panic some players. So what other new features have we got, and how do we access them? Well, you can access some new locations, Reclaimer and Colonial Outposts. So there's Reclaimer derelicts around, so There are various mobiGlas missions from delivery, investigation to mercenary with both legal and illegal flavors, which will take you to those locations. You can read the mission description to get a good indicator if you are going to be taken to one of those new sites. Direct reclaimers are both on the ground and in space. There's a special settlement one called Ghost Hollow, which involves bounty hunting missions in addition to the others. There are also 5 colonial outposts along with Ghosts Hollow that are on microtech, and you can find them pretty easily with delivery missions just around those areas. These new areas make use of dropship AI that basically use cutlasses to come and drop in AI troops and reinforcements in appropriate areas, and the planetary nav mesh is also here, which enables AI guards and reinforcements to move around these locations and track the player on the ground. There is a racetrack, the Snake Pit at Clio. Let's go and find that. Nothing gameplay enforced sort of tied to that at the moment, but players organise races there. It's called a little location to see. There are new illegal delivery missions from Redwind. You'll sometimes get very dangerous, dodgy missions from them when your reputation is high enough, and these sort of rarer missions are very good for rewards, and obviously they are higher risk. Not all the missions from them are illegal though. There are friendly markers for players and AI associated with your current FPS mission. That's awesome, and for things like the Siege of Orison is essential. Still be careful who you shoot at, even if they don't have a marker above their head. Just bear that in mind. Various new items and gear have been added to the loot pools. There are 8 new space stations, and all space stations have been sort of updated with some more small and medium hangars as well. Grimhex has had a hospital expansion. Combat service beacon missions now have a scale of difficulty and more diversity with them. So the easiest ones, they're recommended for beginners, and the top end ones, well, you might have to go up against an Idris, so bring powerful ships and friends. You can obviously read the descriptions to get an idea of how difficult an area is. This is all tied to the Quanta dynamic universe system. There are various quality of life updates for purchasing and kiosk interaction, as well as quality of life updates and balance updates and passes for ships and weapons. There is a new Price of Freedom mission variant around Crusader. Turrets have had some tuning, with turning speeds being changed based on the size and weight of the turret. You can store loose cargo in the Mustang Alpha's cargo area now. The railgun is extra deadly. There have been some major network code updates making jitter and jankiness significantly less for AI and players. There are a massive amount of bug and exploit fixes for this patch as well. Now, there are some major known issues that I want to highlight. You are unable to launch party with friends from the sort of game menu. If you have a 30k, you may need to restart the game. Targeting pips can be missing or disappear from some players, making them untargetable. If you left your engines on your ship when you stored it, it can spawn floating in the hangar sometimes. The Cartoon Owl spawns on the hangar floor sideways. There are shield holes, so weapon fire penetrates shields when ships are moving. While docked to a starfarer, lots of ships continuously tilt. The Argo Raft elevator controls can't be interacted from either side of the deck. Medical beacons don't complete properly even when you bring the player back from incapacitation, so you don't get your money. Underground bunker missions are sometimes missing NPC spawns to complete the mission. Weapons can randomly holster or unholster. Items may disappear between sessions. Again, that's not ideal. Ships on landing pads end up in an unknown state after being stored or streamed out, or at least they can. Turrets around bunkers can respawn incredibly quickly, sometimes almost instantly. So Cloud Imperium are going to be deploying some hotfixes over the next couple of weeks to address those issues where possible. All of this stuff can now be quite easily deployed without the need for an actual patch update. They can just deploy them directly on the servers, or they can just be little hotfixes. There is a ship and vehicle sale for Alpha 3.17.2 currently running. It's focused at ships that are at the Siege of Orison event. So ships and vehicles there, and general useful ships and vehicles for assaulting ground targets like Jumptown. So we've got things like the Hercules A2 and C2, the Ares Ion and Inferno, Buccaneer, the Pisces, Arrow, Gladius, Vanguard, Warden, the Valkyrie, the Mercury Star Runner, Cutlass Black and Steel, load of ground vehicles as well. I saw the Hammerhead here as well, shown for media for the Siege, and it's available as a ship that on sale as well. So I didn't see one when I was testing the Siege. Like, I didn't see a hammerhead there. Maybe it's just been added, or maybe it's supposed to be like, well, actually, after you've taken out the IFFI, you can technically bring one of these in if you wanted to. The new Centurion ground vehicle is also on sale from $95 at the moment. It's a anti-air vehicle based on the ballista chassis and goes for lots of energy, pew-pew. It's got no missiles or anything. It's sort of like a much shorter range, no fly zone that it's sort of trying to set up, but the vehicle is straight to flyable in this patch. Boom! That's it for your highlights and summary of Alpha 3.17.2. Go download and jump in if you haven't already. I'll link all that information, including the schedule of when the sort of Siege of Orison and Jumptown events are, in the description below. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Have you been playing in 3.17.2 live? Is it fantastic? Is it terrible? Have all your ships gone? You're like, no, my ships got wiped. Are you looking forward to the Siege of Orison? All those new reclaimer derelicts and settlements and sort of colonial outposts and missions and AI that are there. Whatever your experience is with Alpha 3.17.2, I'd love to know. Please tell me in the comments below. Greetings, citizen. I am NordVPN Man, bringing the justice of cybersecurity to the world. I protect you from ads, trackers, and malware. I punched a guy so hard once with security features that I knocked him back in time. He was able to use the knowledge of the future to become incredibly rich and wealthy. He bought like 10 subscriptions to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer after that. Really smart guy. Another time, I prevented a hacker from snooping at your IP address by taking off his hands. You can't hack with no hands. Probably. Anyway, you should get NordVPN, otherwise the terrorists win. Every month we have a giveaway. For July 2022, we're giving away a Hull A cargo hauler, as well as a Nomad multi-role freighter. That Nomad also comes with a hovercraft bike. So there's 2 lucky winners this month, and both of those packages contain access to Star Citizen. Comment on any of my videos during this month to be in for a chance of winning that, and check the description down below for more details. Please consider becoming a Patreon or channel member with the join button under my videos. This nets you a variety of exclusive extras, badges, influence on the channel and content and special videos, as well as helping us produce daily content. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.